turned it on.
Oh,
the
I
Prime
see.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
so
watching.
funny, dude. They have all these panels. First of all, it's just really unprofessionally. They're all talking over. There's no like transitions or anything, and they're all like got the people on the monitors talking over each other. It's pretty funny. Yeah,
it's funny. No, and you'll see
cope.
like
It's a lot of cope, dude. You could say that. It is.
I'm watching Fox News right now, and I haven't watched Fox News probably since Tucker was on. Like, and even then it was like through Twitter. Like I would see a clip of Tucker or something.
Yeah.
And you would hear people, like even people who were like kind of Republican, like the Shane Gillis types or something, like people whose like parents were Republicans, like, dude, they're fucking so wild on there. Like they get the fucking geezers all fired up and stuff. And I'm watching it. It's just like people just talking. And like there's Laura Ingraham was just like on there, and she was Laura Ingraham was the shut up and dribble lady. I think she's like known for that. For saying that to LeBron James, which wow, how wrong was she? Oh man. God, it's so cool that
I want to hear more of his takes about China. Actually, I want to hear more about
Micah Parsons on Injured Reserve podcasting about how the Cowboys are sick. And it's like, wow. So this is really how good they are and how they're not out of it and how all the haters need to stop every week. Like, I'm so glad that we proved Laura Ingraham wrong. But anyways, I'm watching it, and it's just like I've seen 5 guys that look like Dick Cheney, and I was like, I thought he was not on the side. I thought he like flipped. And then, they're like, this is Don
Dick Cheney physiognomy.
This is just Don Mainorelli, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I know who that is.
Election nights are crazy because they have to fill up so much time that you see all these guys that you've never heard of before. You're like, who the fuck is that guy?
I think they get some of them off Fiverr, dude.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Fiverr guys,
dude, some old guy who's like a Walmart greeter, and they're like, dude, can you hit election night? Like, who's like, for which side? He's like, we'll let you know.
Yeah, or they just sell their name, image, and likeness to like an AI thing, like they do now for actors and shit. Yeah,
you're like fucking like ripping like bong rips on the couch. You're like, is that my uncle? Like,
like, okay, I'll give you $40,000 if you could rant. You could let us rant with your mouth about Harris.
Dude, my uncle died 2 years ago.
They got the fake voters and the fake.
They use his vote for Harris and then put him on CNN as white dudes for Harris.
From the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I'll never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane, about to visit Glen Rock. Need crypto, told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
Dude, white dudes for hair. Did you see that? I was proud of always the ones I'm most proud of that I send off are the ones that don't do any numbers, but I love the Barack Obama quote tweeting LeBron James, and then I did that. I hit him with. I was like, "That's white guys for Harris, right there." It is.
You're honorary white man for Harris. Like,
dude,
my voting story, though, I have to tell you, I gotta.
Yeah. I've been. It's funny. We had all these like guests, and it's been. Pod's been great. We've been.
Of course,
I think we've been crushing it. If I may say so myself.
Especially on the premium feed. If you're missing the premium feed right now, we're literally in our UCLA like John Wooden dynasty run.
Vote yes on $5 a month.
I know. Yeah. Oh, hopefully you can tie your funds together and transfer some bank accounts to get $5 a month for like 90 hours of content.
With inflation, it's really $3. What $3 was 4 years ago, So
dude, I've spent that. I spent that on something way gayer today. I'll tell you that.
But what your Vampire Cross, dude? I need to.
Oh yeah, well apparently that's not my line, but I will cite that line as a perfect thing of what happened. That was a friend of the pod for sure that said that. But I went to early vote. I did it like last week. Very lib part of town, very affluent lib part of town at a public library.
Right?
Yeah, library, vineyards in the background, very California, dude. Like it's like it would be our Portlandia to film it there. Like I know people would say San Francisco. It's like no, picture like Sideways, like the the movie Sideways, like filmed like that kind of area, and that would be a much more interesting Portlandia, I would say, than San Francisco, India, or something. But anyways, I get to the library. I swear to God, I wasn't even trying to like start shit. I walk in. I've never voted in person before.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd never actually done it. I voted for Trump in 2020, and that shit is probably still floating in like East Palestine, Ohio.
Yeah.
That shit's a frog. That shit's stuck to a frog, dude, out there. And,
it got flipped to a Biden Georgia vote. Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah,
I'm black. Yeah, now
they arbitraged it. Dude.
I'm a black person that voted for
Biden
and Trump.
And you did the exit poll, dude. Yeah.
I also voted for John Ossoff in a state that I didn't live in.
Yeah.
But anyways, I get into the place. It's in a library, so it's like kind of which way do I go around or whatever. And if you see like new libraries, they're all glass and stuff. Like they're very high tech now, and
not
it's
good for the homeless porn thing, by the way, dude. It should be like know, it's like glass walls in a slaughterhouse. Like we don't want that,
exactly. So it's very true. So I went to the there's literally, this library has no homeless people. Like they're like those libs that like they're like, oh yeah, like they're the libs that you would take the migrants to as a joke, like, hey, well, you guys have jobs for these guys. No, we don't. Like they would just like, that's not what we do there. It was this type of place. I walk into the library and I immediately ask this. We're very nice people all everywhere. I'm gonna say some things and it sounds like I'm making fun of them. I am, but like they were all very nice and very helpful. And I walk in, and it's this like kind of elderly Asian man. He goes, "Oh, yep, hey, thanks for coming through. You're gonna vote." I'm in like I'm after work construction gear and stuff. White guy, literally everybody knows what I'm doing. And so I walk up to the two ladies that are running the counter. I everywhere else I go, like to buy weed, I still get carded for beer. Not to brag. Sometimes with this look, it's been carding all day. Cardi B all day, dude. And so I hand them my ID, and the girl just goes, we don't really, now, you don't have to have that. Like she said it like that. Like she's like, I will. I said, it's fine. I said, that's fine. You can, you could. She goes, and then she like looks at her clear superior, like the lead voting lady, and the lady's like, it's fine. You can enter his information off the ID. And she goes, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They enter my name in. She goes, is this you? I'm like, if that's what my ID says, yes, that's me. There's a picture of me on there. This is really
they'd be cool. It'd be cool if it's not you, but if it is it you,
the lady's like, wow, this is like really helpful. Oh no, stop. Never mind. Yeah, wow. So anyways, I get my stuff. They give you these fucking big 4 cards. And speaking of which, when I handed the idea, I was talking about it in the group chat that day. And shout out to Granite Mountain, Granite Mountain Movie Club, great podcast. Everybody should go check that out, especially if you're
incredible. He's
a great guy. Yeah, great guy. I've been on a couple times. Good dude. He said the same thing happened to him, and I was just like compulsively doing it. I think he just, I don't know if he was trying to like prove a point too, but he said it was like literally showing a cross to a vampire. Like it was like they literally just go like they go. Like
no, so credit where credit's due. He came up with that. I was listening to Elon on Rogan today, which was fantastic. I must say, I really enjoyed that. Dude, Elon's just like, again, we're not, we're kind of, we'll critique Elon when it's time. We're not scared of doing that. But dude, he's just like, he's dropping F-bombs. He's like talking over, dude. He's just letting it rip, dude. It's crazy. But he said the exact same line. He's like, yeah, you vote in California. It's like a cross to a vampire now.
And I will say, ID. I will say, I think Granite beat him to the punch too, because I think this was last week, and Elon just came out.
That's what I'm saying. He totally Elon stole it from Granite, is what I'm saying.
Sick. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah, if you post it on his site, I guess he could.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, like cobalt in Africa. Okay, let me stop.
But
it was just it was so crazy. So I go vote, and they have you. After you're done, by the way, I did vote for Steve Garvey right when the Dodgers were winning the world. He's going against Adam Schiff in California. So
what is all this down ballot? What is all this?
I don't even know. It's some position in California. I don't know if he's going for like senator. I think he's going for senator actually. And
did you vote on everything, every possible?
Yeah, I did, dude. There are some crazy law propositions in California. Like you're
just like nope. You're just E40 in them, dude, all day.
Well, no, some of them are reactionary. They're like,
okay,
the things that passed in the past are like, should we do this anymore? Like it was one where it was like, should we arrest drug addicts if they get caught with a bunch of drugs?
Portland just did that one up here.
And it shows like opponents. It says like supporters, and it's like every normal person of all time, like just like mothers against this and that, and like all like you clearly like people who's like lost their family to like drugs and stuff. And then like opponents, it's like gayest leftist organization of all time like is the opponent to the proposition. And it's like they're like, should we prosecute theft under like $950? It's like yes, like like just obvious shit on there.
Oh, they got that one on there.
They got that on there. I can't remember. It's like honestly, I didn't care that much about them, but I did vote like with my heart on a lot of them. But it was just again early voting. I don't know why anybody like did it today. It's insane. If you could early vote, it's like the easiest thing to do.
Voting today is like it's performative. I feel at this point, it's like it's like, huh?
It took me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So but then at the end when you're done, right, you have your folder and these massive like Terry Gilliam Brazil like fucking like sheets that you have. I'm like, these don't need to be this big. This is crazy. And they're sticking out of the folder so people, and the president one sticks out of the folder so people see. They want you to like be confronted. It's crazy. And there were people like one lady. She asked the same lady that was checking me in, how like old people, like just there's those loud old people that just are loud. Yeah. My grandma's like that. It's just like, they're just like fucking, they just scream. You're just like, what the fuck? Yeah. And she was like, are the ballot boxes FR? And the lady goes, FR? She goes, flame retardant. Like that, maybe lit on fire. And she's like, I think we have a pretty good system here. And she goes, okay, do you know if they're FR? And
FR, like that abbreevation is like widely
used. Construction. I knew exactly what she meant.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, shit.
Yeah, when you are by welders and stuff, everything's got to be. Yeah, for my work, I got to wear nothing but polyester. I'm like literally the most flammable fucking material of all time. Like, but whatever. They have all these like, you got to be wearing like FR jackets, FR this. She goes, are they FR? They because I guess there was the thing. I don't even know what side they were accusing of doing it, but ballot stuff. They were saying they were burning them and stuff. I literally couldn't even tell which side was like the Republican.
I don't even think it matters. I think it's just to instill this weird kind of fervor amongst everyone. This weird distrust.
Maybe it was Tom Morello doing it.
Yeah. Dude, you kill me with the Allen wrench thing, dude.
No, it's so funny. He's like, you see a lot of like around this time, the non-voter. I mean, he himself is like a Kamala guy. He's a white he him for Harris for sure. And I know he's like half black.
The ACLU TikTok, dude.
I know, it's so funny. And he was like he's his own guy, but like there's people that spout like 1992 Rage Against the Machine like takes that like think they've gotten to some like Nirvana. That's probably perhaps not the best word to say because it's an actual band, but like a Nirvana, like a spiritual, like just height where they're just like, I fucking this is nothing's gonna change. We need to go out there and fucking light shit on fire. Fucking just that happens every year, but this time let's do it for real. And like the whole time I just hear Tom Morello just with an Allen wrench across like across the thing with his little tech deck fucking tools and shit. And just grinding over. That's like what those takes sound like.
We're going to get you right back to the episode, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a few other things we offer at Rare Candy Industries. We have a Substack with free and paid subscription options. Free subscribers get access to all written content. That includes Bob's Red Pill. That's the best thing going on the internet right now. Trust me. Paid subscribers get full access to our premium episode feed. And that's just every episode we don't necessarily want to share with the general public, if you know what I'm saying. Again, that's rarecandy.substack.com. We also have merch. That link's a little long for me to say right now, but go to the description, go to our merch store, and find a shirt that's right for you. We have Rare Candy shirts, Dr. Bronner soap label shirts, Rishi mushroom shirts, all types of stuff there. Check it out. There's got to be something for you. And lastly, check us out on social media. On Instagram, we're Rare Candy Pod, but on Twitter, we're at Rare Candy Pod 1. All right, enough of that. Let's get you back into the episode.
So I was just like again, it's like, should you vote? Should you not? Like, I don't give a fuck. But like, it's not this virtue to not vote. It's like not this thing. It's not
I'm falling for. I've been. You saw me today with I'm not gonna say.
No, don't say
anyone could find it, you know, if they want. But it's like just this. I just hate this. I hate this fucking. And I'm like, I'm not vote. I'll probably like never vote again. I just could see I'm out of the thing. But everyone knows how I feel.
It's not a virtue to you. That's
no,
what
it's not.
It is.
And also, I do want one side to win. You know, it's kind of like, and but it's I just hate. No, it's the virtue thing, and I hate this thing. It's like, you might not know this, guys, but actually both sides are the same, and you might not know this, but you're actually, and it's like, okay, on some, we all fucking know that on some level. First of all, it's not like true. It's just so, I just hate when they think they're in on something that no one else understands. But like, I feel we're like 10 times smarter than them. We're like, we know what you think you're trying to say, and we're beyond that. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like, you're not more advanced than us. And that's not like a dick measuring contest or anything, but it's just like, I get what you're trying to say, and I don't care. Like, I do not care. You know, it's
and also,
yeah.
Okay, yes. And then you bring up the issues that they're literally not the same. Like the ones that I actually expect to be, whether they're solved, aside that actually combat that stuff. Immigration is a fucking problem. I'm sorry, it is. Like, that just but to them, they'll say like, "Oh, you fell for that." Fell for what? Like,
no, the whole thing, the one I was getting was like, "Oh, you're falling for the thing where they're gonna install digital surveillance on the border." You know, or CDBCs or whatever, and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but you can't show sympathy or empathy for why someone would vote against the last 4 years of this shit. Like, you literally can't understand why someone would, you know, it's just so bizarre. And it's not like even a Trump thing. It's because with the lib thing, at every level, from the fucking librarians to like city council, state council, to the governors, all this shit, COVID, they had them all on lock. They were all trying to rule and fucking ruin your life with masks and mandates, and you're firing you from your job, and OSHA and all this shit. And it's like, you just don't see that from the other side. You know, it's not even about, I don't care about the president. You know, it's not even like a thing. I do think Trump's hilarious and cool and shit, you know, but it's like,
dude, he's been
he's been crushed. No, it's funny. It's been funny watching the Brian Williams, the life that we just watched it for half an hour, and they're all like, he's made so many unforced errors in the last month. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? He's been
on a fire.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, on fire.
Talking to Bill Belichick on a podcast today.
Max Crosby.
Max technically wasn't on it. He wasn't on the show, but it's like his show that he comes on for. Like, it's literally a 21-minute like boomer podcast.
Yeah.
And this guy named Jim Gray. And it's just like classic like boomer sports, like no horsing whatsoever. It's literally just like 21 minutes of tight like football podcast where like, Coach, what do you think of the Bengals offense? I think it's something that's really good. I think Burrow's did a good job. They're running something from, and it's like typically that's what it was. But they bring Trump on, and Trump's just like, they're like, Trump, what do you think of Caitlin Clark? He's like, oh, she's phenomenal. I mean, she just she lights it up. And they're like, well, do you think like she should be paid more just because she's like popular and all that stuff? And he's like, that's a tough question. And he's like, that's tough. He goes, and they're like, would you do something about that as president? He goes, I have a lot of stuff to do. And he's like, I just don't know. Yeah. He's like, women's sports. He's like, I said, what do you want? Like, you know, and then, but yeah, you're right. And I'm just like, dude, I know what's going to change or what even happened. And first off, like, dude, we spent a long time, and it's nice to see some like older people who have been in the like health sphere or something. Yeah. Some of them suck. Like some of them just like balk. I'm like, dude, whether this happens or not, which I think there's at least going to be the facade of this, which I actually think could work, like a placebo effect. RFK is going to have a fucking job in like a presidential administration if Trump wins. Like,
you don't understand how big that is. Yeah.
People, that's how I know you're brand new to this shit. If you think like, well, he's a, you know, like RFK's not who you think he is. I'm like, I know exactly who he is.
I know exactly, dude. Yeah. I've been on his fucking email list since I was 15 years old. It's like the fact that he could be again, and these institutions are so powerful. I'm doubtful because everyone's like taking the thing at face value, like he's gonna ban fluoride, blah blah blah. That stuff. It's like, okay, that'd be incredible. I highly doubt any of that stuff is gonna happen to the degree that I want it to. But just the fact that he'd be in there would be such an Overton window shift. You got fucking Bill Ackman on MSNBC talking to libtards about how the vaccine schedule is too high. And it's like that would never fucking happen before, dude.
Would never.
That dude's like a financial genius, like one of the most respected portfolio managers in the world. And he's going on MSNBC saying that we vaccinate too much, dude. I've been waiting for that my entire life, dude. You do not understand how base that is. So it's like it will cause maybe 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line, but it will set up a total cascade.
Well, and I want to talk about fluoride a little bit later on its own for sure. But like the you're right, like it's all this stuff. I'm like, dude, for me, like, look, I was going Trump either way, regardless of who he was in there. I literally am I'm a never Harris. Like I just it just cannot happen. And we'll see. Like right now, you know, just timestamp this. It's fucking 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock Pacific time on election night.
We get a live update. What's the fucking?
I'm watching the Fox News feed. They got Trump up 32-3, covering. But I mean, I don't know.
Dude, and we do got to talk about the shenanigans, dude. What's going on with the dude?
Well,
first of all, I think it's funny how that it's. The fact that like Elon Musk and legit big people are able to say that 2020 was stolen, shit went down back then. You know what I mean? You couldn't talk about that. Obviously, we did talk about it, and everyone talked about it. But people thought you were insane to suggest that. But it 100% there's evidence of that every fucking week, coming out now that this shit was shenanigans all day.
Well, and yeah, exactly. But and to me, like, dude, like when you bring this up to people who are like skeptics of voting, and again, if you're skeptic of voting, I'm not gonna be the one that tells you to do it. Who cares? Yeah. But again, not voting should come with a freedom of caring, which doesn't seem to happen a lot of times. So when I see people still fucking freaking out about somebody just deciding to fill in a bubble on a Scantron and fucking putting it in a thing and like that, like when people just go, what you did. And now guess who's at fault? If Elon Musk is as stupid as I think he is, guess who's at fault? Because I fucking circled Donald Trump's name. That's what the people come back. People give themselves freedom to just criticize whatever they want, which you already have that, by the way. That's what you literally can. You can do that from that way. I just think for people who, like, to me, I think, man, like if there is another fucking pandemic, right, quote unquote, if there's another one that happens, I'd be pretty happy if fucking RFK was a part of this, because all the stuff that the based health people ding on Trump, like, at least he'd have that.
RFK will bring on a guy like a doctor to be the anti-Fauci, just to be on camera and be like, or just do a podcast that everyone in the country, that everyone that cares in the country would listen to. Come on, dude. It's no fucking brainer, dude. It's crazy.
And you said the P word, that's going to become a slur pretty soon, dude.
Yeah.
The podcaster with the hard R. Like it's because
hard R,
dude, if Harris loses, mark my fucking words. If Harris loses and Trump wins, there is going to be the war on podcasts because of the last 2 weeks of Rogan were insane. They were fucking Trump goes on Rogan, crushes. I don't even understand how people think that he didn't crush on there. Theo Vaughn, JD Vance did really well on all of that stuff too.
Just Dillon, JD Vance, all that.
And this is my thing. What they did on there was not rocket science. They went on there and didn't fucking talk down. They didn't pretend to be people's parents like Democrats want their politicians to be the competent adult. Like, no, they just are normal guys that talk. And look, of course there's acting, of course there's theatrics, of course these people, Trump is performing, Vance is performing. These are politicians. Like, we know that this is not getting sucked into the fucking TV like Videodrome. Like, we know this, but they go on there and they just act like normal guys. And they just and then people just go, you believe what this guy said? I fact checked 50 fucking falsities, false fuckeries on the JD Vance Rogan podcast, and I'm not even an hour in. Like, people love shit like that. It's like, and then I listen, I'm like, okay, this guy's talking about like trans kids. Like, this guy's talking.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me. I was talking to some dudes. Like, I listened to the whole thing, the Elon one, and I'm like, okay, what do you think? And they I brought up a point and they clearly didn't listen to it, or they didn't remember what he said. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the thing, that the point of it is to pass the 3-hour test. Can you not be a fucking dipshit for 3 hours?
By the way, there's no pause on his fucking cars being sold out here, because holy shit, everyone has one out here in the Bay Area. Everyone's got one. So I'm like, okay, the Bay Area is not going red as far as I'm concerned. But there's people just buying them in droves. So I'm like, okay, how mad are you at Elon? Like, I feel like I still hate him more than a lib does. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, it's like they just get so mad about all these dumb words like platforming and what's going to happen. I guess is what I'm saying is what's going to happen. There's going to be a war on podcasts. YouTube's going to do some. We'll get our shit nuked for sure.
YouTube. We just never had a chance with YouTube.
No, we don't.
We never had a chance.
By the way, if you're like a listener that listens on like Spotify and Apple, one please review us on there. That it really helps. But then also just like subscribe to us on YouTube. You don't have to like listen to it on there or anything, but it just helps if you just like press subscribe. Like we get you know, because dude, we get nothing on there. Like, and like when we had Anna on, it fucking blew up. Like, it got a lot of views and stuff, which helps because people are just like searching her name and that pops up. But it's just like, otherwise it's fucked. But I'm saying there's gonna be a war on that stuff. And then there's also going to be a war on X, right? Like Twitter, because it's not going to be Russia this time. I mean, they're gonna tie Russia into all that, I'm sure. Like Russia, oh, here's the payroll of Russian podcasts. Here's the payroll of Russian social media people and all that stuff. Like, they're gonna do that, but it's mostly gonna be the like, you don't have free speech because you don't have free speech because all that's being happened is you're that meme where the guy's under the fucking pipe, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, but you're the fat guy taking in all the misinformation. Like, that's like what they're going to sell this election to you as. When in reality, it's really funny when you think about this. I didn't want Democrats to win. There's really nothing they can do to ever get me to vote their way. Like, I'm sorry. They cast off everybody that I like. Somebody like a Kennedy, right? Somebody with the last name Kennedy gets put on the fucking one of the biggest misinformation lists ever. And that's why when a lot of right wingers were
that's unconscionable. That's like literally there's no, it would have to be a seismic shift. And even things like Bernie, you know, like because, you know, obviously he turned out to be who he fucking was, which is a fucking total loser. But still, the way they did him, I could still see that. Like, Trump was like, Bernie, they did my guy Bernie dirty. You know, it's like, just the fact, like, even that alone should awaken some of those more hardcore dirtbag types, but they're a lost cause too. But yeah, so it's you know, regardless of what do you feel about this stuff, but yeah, that's unconscionable. Yeah, I agree. There's no way back for them.
So what I mean is, like, I'm not coming at them to like, if they do this, I'll come back, because there's a lot of people that love that's the not voting thing, is you're able to go, well, I didn't vote, so I'm allowed to fix both parties. And it's like, you're retarded. Like, I hate that, because if Harris were to win, they become the de facto Harris critic. And it's like, well, all right, but it was a bridge too far. You're going to make your whole next 4 years to branding about how Harris is ruining the country, but like, you couldn't bring yourself to even speak in favor of the opposition, which we know is better. Like, it's just those people piss me off. But you have there's going to be the Democrats. Sorry, I was lost my track here. But the Democrats, I noticed, like, what they do, like, Trump derangement is still very high. Like you and I talk to people that are like, oh my God, really? Like, you know, like, you like, this is still this big of a deal for you. But it doesn't have the same bite to it that it did in the past. Like, there's a lot of more people that will speak it. And Democrats really relied on the last 4 years for Trump derangement. The only problem is he wasn't in office. So like, this whole insurrection thing, they're like, well, these people are still in power because they at any moment they can get in, and there's more than just the president. They can pack the courts, and then we'll never have election again, Project 2025. And I'm like, dude, think about what they did, right? Kamala wouldn't even go on the biggest podcast in the world. She wouldn't get on. She has access to Air Force One, and she didn't even go on the biggest podcast in the world, which we know why. She would have been horrible on there. She would have bombed. It would have been
Don't have time to go on Rogan, but I went on Shannon Sharp's podcast,
and call her daddy, right? Where it's just, call her daddy is just a girl in an oversized sweatshirt, like going like that, and it's just like okay, great, like, you know, like, just whatever. And she gets $90 million a month. like to do that, and she just tosses fucking softballs at them. So like it's anyways, whatever. She could have gone on Rogan. She could have done that. And I'm sure Rogan would have been pretty good to her. Like, I don't think he would have been. I don't think he would have been bad.
I agree.
But you think about
he would have pressed
stuff
her. He would have pressed her on a couple things, and like then he would have talked about food or some shit,
And what they could have done though, what they could have done while still keeping their core base in the last 4 years is a few Trumpian things, but with a different aesthetic. They could have, I don't know, maybe not let 9 million fucking people come into the country. Like they could have curbed that number a little bit. And the people in our lives, they wouldn't have strayed from the party. They wouldn't have left the left.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have left that. They didn't do that. They could have done a lot of other stuff. They could have campaigned better. They could have done all of these things. They don't do any of that stuff. And when you bring that up to their strongest supporters, they flatline, and then they're like, I don't want to talk about politics anymore. Yeah. And you're like, well, or their big thing. I hear it from people all the time because there's that commercial of that girl riding the guy's dick or whatever, and the condom breaks. And she goes in and she's like, oh, get a plan B. And I'm like, did you already bust? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No.
I was like, it's like, this is how sex we're at. Flipchart's not had sex in so long that like the guy
just desensitized the shoe, dude.
Condom broke, yes, and then he busts like
instant, just no control.
Into a hard 5, dude. Like yes. Among us, right? But the condom breaks, and then they go in the bathroom, and then some like fucking RT Straker ass fool comes out as a Republican and is like
oh, the fucking the guy in the suit.
You can't have plan B, sorry. Like and then the whole thing is keep Trump out of the bedroom. And I've been hearing people take that statement and bring it out like in real life into what is supposed to be an organic conversation between two living beings. And they'll say, well, you got to keep Trump out of the bedroom. Trump wants to control every aspect of our bedroom. I'm like, you have him on in every room in your house constantly.
Dude.
You have never stopped having Trump in your bedroom, in your living room, in your ears, in your anything like that. He has been involved in every aspect of your life for the last 8 years. It's kind of embarrassing.
That's the thing. They don't understand the law of attraction to go hippie on it. They don't, because they literally, the thing they say they like the least, they elevate the most in their consciousness and constantly harp on it and talk about it nonstop. And it's just I think it's kind of a lesson they need to learn. It's people are like, I want the Trump era to be over. It's like, you don't. Your whole identity is wrapped up in this. You want to go back to Democrats failing in office again and like, you know what I mean? It's like that's because that's really what it is. The immigration thing is really the big one because it's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's so, and like I've historically I've always been, that's probably been one of my most liberal things. It's just having enhancing access to legal.
It's different now, though. Like it's so different. I understand. I was the same way. I was like, who cares? Like for the most part, I was like, but then now you're like, holy shit, there's like, it's just a different fucking thing.
And it's the thing. It's weird how I'm not, I do think that, done the right way, it can strengthen our country in a lot of ways, but the thing is we're already weakened by all these weird forces, by DI, wokeness, all this, whatever, all this crazy shit. Just lack of trust amongst your neighbors and stuff like that. And we're not producing shit anymore. So it's not like we're, it used to be like we're pumping, we're grinding, we're America, we're like at our peak, we're just vibing. Sure, come on board, like assimilate. We'll be a part of this thing. Now it's kind of like this sinking life raft that's got like a giant like scissor stab wound in the side of it, and like way more people are coming on at its weakest point, you know. And it's just kind of, it's like we and the Biden Kamala thing with that whole immigration thing was so, because she went on stage and said, if you're thinking about coming, do not come here. So it's like, is Kamala anti-immigration? It's like there's no consistency there. There's no the liberal position on that. There is no liberal position on that besides you don't want to be a bad person, do you? You don't want to be a racist xenophobe, do you? And it's like, that's not at a certain point, at some million of illegal, maybe it's 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 million. At some point that stops being an argument. And you're like, okay, what the fuck are we doing here?
Well,
like, what are we doing here?
When you push people like that, because I have done that, I'm like, so what's the plan? Like, that's always my thing. What's the plan for is it unlimited?
What's the plan?
Is it unlimited?
And that's what I was saying to the non-voters too. I'm like, what's the plan? How do you fix that without voting? That's a crazy, it's just like, that's a crazy. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, like I said, what's the plan? Like how many people is too many and stuff. And I'm not asking, like I said, the Tom Morello. I'm not asking those people, because I know they're like, fuck it, stolen land, fuck you.
Yeah,
like,
like
it's, take the vaccine. We'll vaccinate all of them. Don't worry.
I want to talk about that a little later too, but
those people, I don't even bring this up because I know their plan. Their plan is no plan, and aggressively distortion pedal no plan, and a cool rig of amps and cool noises that we toggling switches and stuff like that. That's their plan. But when you ask people who, like, I don't know, were around in the country when Hillary Clinton used to talk about anti-immigration stuff, back in the early 90s, when she was like, I'm sorry, you're not getting in, get out. Like when she would do that, like, it was like, I was like, damn, is she on Oprah right now? And it's like, it wasn't even, it was just like everything used to look like Oprah in the 90s. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And but I would ask people who were around during that time, and I'd go, what, like, you saw the country back then, and that was during a time of like profit. Like, was it what we want? It was kind of hyper globalized, the advent of hyper globalization. But at the end of the day, we just went through the COVID bullshit and all the economy, inflation, and then it's like 9 million people more.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that doesn't really make sense. I asked them what the plan is, and they say, well, they would never sabotage the country like that. Like, they have a total deference to anybody wearing that blue D logo. Like, that's it. They defer to experts. It's the reason they went along with COVID for so long. They defer to the experts, and they have an enemy. He's red. It's highlighted. It's easy for them to do it.
Yeah.
So
the emperor wears no clothes. It's
from the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix with that red candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, can't do shit.
They're showing that Trump is doing well in Miami right now. Like, he's gonna win Florida. That's on Fox.
And, Miami-Dade, he flipped, right?
He flipped, which is fine. You know who's responsible for that?
Yeah.
AB deserves, like, dude. Okay, the black men for Trump, obviously, like, it's not just comes down to like one guy saying something, but like, because like I just think a lot, but like AB normalized like base Trump shit for a lot of sports libs.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to like think Trump is funny now on a sports blog.
Yeah, and also just go after the dumbest, like who has he gone after of note that's for just being a libtard or whatever.
Yeah, he goes after everybody, and I know
but I mean, like, sports guys, like famous guys, like, where it's just like, he's like, that's gay,
and he'll just, or he'll be like, he'll show a picture of like a girl wearing like a jersey that says throat goat, and he'll be like, Tim Wall's jersey, like, it's just like, that's great. Like, that's literally for the longest time, Republicans were in the same way that Democrats now are like, oh, well, we can't do anything because we have to like stop Trump. But like, Republicans were always so tightwad to be like, well, we would never stoop to that level. And it's like, you realize now Trump is listening to like Barron and people like that. Yeah, he definitely is listening to Barron. Might be a bro.
I do agree, but I liked Granite Mountain's post where he was like, it was like there was like Politico or something, and it was like Barron Trump might be advising Donald Trump's appearances on podcasts. And then Granite Mountain quoted it, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, go on the biggest podcast."
But I know why it's Barron, because he went on that guy like Aiden Ross's YouTube channel, which only a Zoomer fucking kid would ever like. I didn't even know who that was. Like I was like, who is it? And it was like total like Zoomer like reacting to like the new Fritos flavor fucking while watching like, you know, I don't know. It was just like one of those like reacting to the newest Frito flavor while watching Minecraft being played or something. It's like, it's the shit that like I'm not vaccinated enough for, like as a kid. It was when they increased it from like 60 shots to like 100 shots. Like that's when that started becoming cool.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Like I've commonly said I'm the least autistic man of all time, and I think it's true. In good ways and bad.
Yeah. But we were talking about that earlier when we were watching downstairs on how this is what I tell, like I've told my sister this. I always bring this up to whenever I have what I could tell is a good faith discussion with a liberal about Trump. And I'm like, how has he gained over the last 8 to 10 years in every minority demographic consistently? Like you'd think it would, if he was bad, it would have gotten worse, but he's only gained votes with black guys, with Latino
Hitler
people.
Did better with the Jews.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's like, it's like how you have to explain how that's a thing. And I think one of them is the immigration thing where, dude, you know, like black dudes in New York City are like, they're giving them Xboxes, like Xboxes, dude. They're like, fuck that shit, like debit cards and shit.
You imagine like a Jewish guy in like 1940 just going like, have you seen the price of bread? I mean, it is low. You gotta admit, you gotta play games. You can't be seen by certain guys, but it's just like
shit is
the trains are running on time. Unbelievable.
Where to? I don't know where to, but they're running. Yeah, exactly.
Look, you got to know your trains, but you know, like, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's, and they're showing it too. Like he's not, Harris is not doing well. It's funny, like they show the one she's doing well in like Georgia. Like Trump looks like he's ahead in Georgia right now. I don't know. But again, we're far from the electoral map podcast. I have no idea still how a lot of this stuff works, but it looks like he's ahead in Georgia, which he lost by 10,000 votes last time.
10, and those were fake. That was fake.
Exactly. So, and that was with the whole, you know, bullshit, like voter suppression state, quote unquote IDs.
Well, Georgia just passed. Georgia just passed. I think like 2 days ago. They're like, no, we're not accepting late ballots anymore, which hurts the Democrats, you know. And so that is like they're just like, no, we're not.
Hilarious too, because if you had this strong voter base, they are literally like the vote base. Like they are the one that like all year just talks about voting out fascism. But it's like, how are you late then? If you're real.
Fuck,
was that today?
Yeah. No, it was so funny. We were just watching downstairs the Brian Williams, one of those election channels, and it's so funny, dude. And like, they're like, yeah, we're getting word that Maricopa County is going to be late tonight. The doors on the thing didn't shut. It was the doors, and then like we look at each other, we're like, what the fuck? The doors.
The Maricopa County is reporting some leaking drops from the pipe above. It's probably nothing, but it's I was like testing right over all the paper ballots.
Yeah, we didn't even say a word. We just looked at each other. We're just like, come on, and people buy that shit up, dude. It's how did you buy that? Like how, like you. It's an IQ test, dude. It's a straight up IQ test. But in a different way, you know, in like you said, Sam Harris passes. You know, he's probably hitting 140, but is wrong.
I hate IQ so much. Like, yes, you have the pantheon guys like Michael Crichton, you know, Michelle Welbeck. Like, you have these people that are just like, yeah, that's the most base guy of all.
When you combine it with like the Crichton shit, it's the coolest thing ever. But
and they're probably like deeply unhappy people still because they're so fucking smart. But like, you know, I mean, I think Crichton was pretty happy. Welbeck seems really fucking sad all the time. So, you know, just in theory. By the way, shout out later in the week, we're gonna have Gain of Fiction, Michelle Welbeck, Annihilation, 10 dudes on the episode, 10, and it flowed like the pipe above without bursting over Maricopa County. It flowed perfectly. The trains ran on time, and but it's a great episode.
It was fun.
It felt good to see everybody just read like a current novel, and like everybody, even people that aren't on the episode, are like, I'm reading it, can't wait to hear it. So that'll be on our Gain of Fiction, rarecandy.substack.com for paid subscribers later in the week. But I hate IQ because I know Sam Harris would whip my ass in any fucking test ever, any test on any subject, except for like sports or something alpha like that I wouldn't be good at. But you know, other than that, like he would probably kick my ass on any fucking metric. guess who's gay and who's not?
Yeah, exactly.
He
Dude.
sucks. And I value
Yeah.
ethics. Like, I'd rather have a kind of like midwit tier guy with ethics, because IQ guys get swayed by other IQ guys.
Yeah.
Like, there's like, I'm sorry, like, what is to stop President fucking Bill Gates if we go by IQ?
Well, that's the thing. This is what I was because we were talking about this off camera a couple days ago or something, and it got me thinking. And I was like, it is a social club, and what happens is the IQ guys, they get scared of being wrong or coming across as a retard, whereas guys like us embrace coming across as a retard, and ironically end up on the right track, more often than not. So it's like that fear of living in like, oh no, where you're always where you're like 5D chessing your own mind, like 5 steps ahead, and you're just like, can't say that, I think that's what's going on with him.
When you don't have foresight either, I don't know that I attribute foresight to IQ. Maybe look, I haven't read the fucking bell curve. I don't plan on it. Like, it just, I'm sure there's all these actually it does, but I don't know that I put it to like foresight in the way, because I know a lot of people who are just fucking wrong on all this stuff, but they're able to explain themselves in this very coherent fashion, MLA format essay, and they're like, well, but then the whole thing is wrong. It's rotten to the core, and you're like, well, you're wrong. And there's a strategic ability in being kind of wrong at the time to be like, well, my friends still talk to me. I'm still have my job at this prestigious university, and it's like I'm like, dude, I love the like rogue high IQ people that are like rogue and stuff, that are like maybe the autism pushes them to like not care about the human relationship so much.
There's some mysterious orthogonal component that, and I think genius is part of this too. Like, we all have different elements of genius within us, although some are off the charts, where it's like this mysterious it's like some Philip K. Dick thing where the reality that you can't even see is infecting your reality today, and it's
in prison.
So it's something like that, where there's, you have to be open to other forces, other unseen things, some as above so below type shit. I don't
Imagine
know.
if like I ran for office and I was like the batshit crazy candidate that like is in the first stage of the primary, that's like, that guy's not going to last like more than an hour, and I'm like and they'll be like, Glenn Rockney, where do you stand on prison reform? I'll be like, the Black Iron prison, I assume. Well, I think it's terrible. We've never moved past Rome. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Like, go outside. You think you see LA out there? LA. No, it's Rome. We're all trapped in the same thing. It's gods of light against gods of dark fighting each other, and everyone's just like, and then like at the end of the day, when I drop out, somebody's like, oh, I'm writing in Glenn Rockney. He was the only guy who had the solution to the Black Iron prison.
Exactly.
I can't bring myself to vote for either of these two guys. But this is funny, because what I was saying about the Georgia thing was like, it's decided by like 10,000 votes, and like I said, they're making pretty. It's obviously slanted on Fox News, but like they're making like pretty coherent points where they're bringing up. They're like, okay, yes, like Trump got crushed in 2020. Or is getting crushed by like black men's and women's vote. If you just look at right now, he goes, but Biden was like 8 points higher than Harris on those two things before, and Trump lost that state by 10,000 votes. Which were those real? I don't know, but like it's like, it's not good for her in that case, which is funny because Biden is an old white guy that like has segregationist ties. And it's like, that's just how lame Harris is. And if Harris had the sauce, dude, first off, if she had the sauce, she would have done better in the primary in 2020 for sure. Or she would have gone on fucking Rogan. Like, and then that's how you know she doesn't have sauce. And people are scared. That's why I keep saying there's going to be this war on podcasts. People are scared to admit that podcasts have power. However, if we have the wrong guest on, they use the platforming word or like any of these things. Like they know the power it has. They just think it's lame that it has power or whatever. But it's like, I'm sorry, this is news for a lot of people. And people will go, well, that's why we're in the state that we're in. I don't know. I turn on CNN and it's literal fluoridated garbage.
It's so funny. They malign it while it's this two-faced kind of thing where they're like, oh, that's lame, but then they're all worried about it. And it's crazy, the CNN Rogan having more views than all the MSN combined, which is crazy, because that's overcounted, because they're counting like airport numbers and shit, or like the airport bar when you're just drinking an IPA before a fucking flight or something. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like she's not getting, and he even said from black women, yeah, it's like 89% to 11. Like it's not even close. But like Biden was at like 95%, like in that state. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like Fox News right now has it at what 5:30 p.m. West Coast time, 8:30 p.m. East Coast time. Like they have it at in their opinion, it's 111 to 72 Trump over Harris. When I went to bed in 2020, Trump looked like he was going to win. So I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm not making any declarations, but I didn't see nearly the love for Harris. Trump derangement is more powerful than Harris, but Trump derangement doesn't really win you elections. It's won one election. And guess what they had to bring out in 2020? They had to bring out the fucking like the Kraken, the Cthulhu was summoned for in 2020, which it's the most
voting. It's voting Trump out is the thing versus
voting
him in.
And it's just like, look, we have 8 years, and climate change didn't exactly happen during those 8 years, and all of these things, these crazy things didn't happen. Now, I do think people, again, we talked about it last time. I do think like, I don't know that I like would even hammer on abortion because I'm pretty sure they would win in a landslide if abortion wasn't even like a subject in the election. So like, they're playing dirty with it, obviously, because I don't think it's really being infringed on that much. But that's like literally like there are these like retarded young girls that would only vote for that. Yeah, like they won't go out. Like they would have like just been like, oh, I was at Pizza My Heart and I forgot to vote. Like they would do shit like that. I was with Kevin.
Yeah.
I just feel like all girls are with Kevin constantly.
Dude, yes. It's great, the abortion thing. It's crazy.
Hasn't there always been with women like a mysterious Kevin that you don't know? Am I wrong?
Yeah, there's
like,
always a Kevin.
About, you never meet Kevin.
Yeah.
You never do.
He's cool. He's cool, right?
Yeah.
He's cool. He's a really cool guy.
It's not even like that with us, but he's so funny.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, what are the jokes? I can't even say it. It's like these things he does. I'm
it's
like,
just what are the jokes?
Shut up. Yeah. These are people that like when you mention abortion, they go vote. So it's like, I will say it was I saw it when that was happening. I think a couple of years ago, the big like Roe v. Wade thing. A lot of people were like, even if you believe, if you're pro-life, winning should be more important to you than like that. Which like there's a case to be made is all I'm saying. Like I think that's the one thing that's going to make the election close because otherwise. But there's even saying like for a lot of exit polls, a lot of it's immigration and economy based. So on those two things, I doubt that like the funny thing is there's no Democrats asking for more immigration, like actual Democrat voters. They're not like, I need more.
Yeah.
They're just like, what you want, guys? However many is fine with me. But like, and you know, it's just funny.
It's like this. I know it's like this open bracket on that side. It's there's no. Yeah, it's like less greater than or equal to.
So if somebody at the exit poll says immigration is a big deal, you know which side they're on. You know, exactly. It's like it's not that side. But I think we should talk about I don't really have that many more electoral politics stakes, but like the fluoride thing is interesting. And I think first off, like this is I understand, a lot of our base doesn't give a shit about elections and stuff. Some of our people only listen to us talk about health. Some people only listen to us talk about movies, culture, lifestyle, and stuff. We will not become an overtly weigh in every single week on political issues, but it is kind of crazy how RC election this really is. How much of an RC election it is.
It is.
I mean, I did not expect to ever see Kennedy even teasing about fluoride. Dude. Which, okay, there immediately I was thinking, you were thinking, and we're like, okay, I don't know if that's gonna happen. Kennedy says like, I want to like straight up ban fluoride out of public water supplies. And of course the Reddit robot shrieking. Do we need AI art of a Reddit robot shrieking like the woman on the steps of the Capitol? Because that's what happened. In the replies there, that's what happened. Yeah. But so anyways, I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I love it, but like I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's all talk. But then I started thinking, I'm like, that's not something anybody else would ever promise. It's not this thing like, I'm going to fight for Medicare for all. I'm going to fight for
exactly.
So like it's not, a lot of people are just like,
it's total left field. It's total
it's out of left field thing. So to say it, I have to take him at his word, that he's going to at least try.
Yeah.
Which any like reduction or deceleration of fluoride is so monumental. we
got a couple things. Yeah,
I just want to set you up, but like we weigh in on this a lot. I have a clip I'm going to play, and then I want you to just spurg out because I know you're writing something about fluoride. But perhaps Bob's Red Pill. We've been talking about it since our episode Fluoride, which is a great name, and it's been around for a long time. We've had episodes where we talked about the baby water, the satanic baby water,
dude,
with the infant smiling
to save the baby teeth that fall out anyway.
What if that baby's based in real life, grew up to be really based?
Well, I mean, it's like strike me down, I'll rise up more powerful than you'll ever know. Kind of thing.
It's like the kid from Nirvana's Nevermind, but like based, like the
water that he was swimming in was fluoridated.
The nursery water. But I have to take them at their word, like to say that, because that's just not something a politician promises every year. It's literally never happened. I don't think. I think like Upton Sinclair was probably the last guy to promise that, in like governor of California race in 1920 or something. But
psychic. He's psychic as well, dude. That's great.
Gang Fiction season 2 subject. I love his work, so we're going to cover that. But anyways, here's a clip on CNN about why fluoride is good, actually.
I honestly have no idea what he's talking about here, which means I'm ready to be convinced. Why is fluoride added to our drinking water?
Well, fluoride can prevent tooth decay, and it's been added to drinking water.
Oh, I was just not expecting that voice.
Yeah.
I thought it would be somebody else. I don't know. Wasn't expecting that tone of voice.
Water in the United States starting in 1945. Now about 63% of the U.S. population has fluoridated tap water from community water systems. The CDC has called this one of the top 10 public health achievements of the 20th century because it makes this kind of prevention of tooth decay so accessible across communities, including disadvantaged ones that might not have access to dental health care or fluoridated toothpaste and other kinds of things. And so they say this is a very cost-effective and very safe and very beneficial thing that they've been doing for decades, Jake.
Well, walk me through some of the claims of side effects in RFK Jr.'s post on Twitter or X. Obviously, he's not a scientist, he's not a doctor, but where are these claims coming from?
Well, they're not.
That's the gayest sentence that anyone's ever said, by the way. Like, that's
by the way, if you care about that kind of stuff, the claims are coming from Harvard Medical School.
He goes, and it's something I saw on X, Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah.
They always do that.
I know.
And then they, which is like funny. What if your friend transitions? Do you do that with their name?
I know. Yeah.
Kyle. I mean,
well, they do. They actually do. That's the funny thing. Dude.
And Kyle. I mean, Sherry. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sherry.
Oh my god.
Astrid, I'm so sorry. But then the other sentence is like, he's not a doctor, he's not a scientist. It's like, okay, but anyways, let's hear this lady. I hate that fucking phrase. I know when you it's like finding fiction and then finding the 1800s person that inspired it, but the worst way possible. You're like, why do I keep hearing this sentence all the time? And then you hear Jake Tapper say the exact same thing, and you're like, that's exactly where they're fucking hearing this. And that's exactly why the person who I loved for my whole life and still do, but like, that's why they talk like this and have been reduced to this.
Completely pulled out of nowhere. And there is some reason to look closely at these things. One he notes is it's industrial waste. Well, fluoride can come from manufacturing certain products, but it's also found naturally in soil. It's actually found naturally in some water and found in rocks. And in terms of the health things that he talks about, specifically he starts with arthritis and bone fractures. That is probably talking about something that's known as skeletal fluorosis. That is something that the Cleveland Clinic explains is due to chronic fluoride overexposure for many years. This is really at extremely high levels of fluoride exposure. You might see something like this, where you could have something similar to arthritis and to bone fractures. Now, IQ loss and neurodevelopmental disorders, that has been receiving a lot more attention recently. A recent report from the government found that at levels twice as high as the recommended limit in U.S. water systems, there has been a potential link to lower IQs in children. So that is something that's being looked at, Jake, but again, much higher than what is supposed to be in the water.
Well, are there examples of just massive overdoses of fluoride in water that I just haven't heard about?
There are in other countries, Jake. There's been studies out of China and things like that from natural fluoride in the water. Here in the United States, no.
All right. Meg.
Well, that about says it. That does it all. It's all fake, even though they're like, oh, yeah, the IQ thing is probably real. We're studying it right now. But anyways, and like I said, my caveat is I know I don't value IQ. I don't wish to lose any of mine. So that's
no, the things that blunt your, because we are there's a whole matrix of intelligence that we are, there's a whole spiritual element to it. There's, look at all this remote viewing shit. It goes in so many different dimensions, right? And any IQ loss will be correlated with all sort with it. It's not like it makes you better in other domains. Like, yeah, you trade a few IQ points, but you get great teeth and you're just a better person overall. My interesting thing, like, flip the inverse of that. If it's only in 63% of water sources, are Democrats campaigning to get the other 37% fluoridated? Is
probably.
That like a big?
There's probably
thing?
a sleek count, big lib.
But is that a
thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
And it literally comes from aluminum manufacturing, which is, hey, aluminum is another red flag. But the thing, it's so crazy. It's just it's so wild to me. Because there's a Harvard, and again, if you trust the science, right? There's a Harvard meta-analysis in 2008, and then that found that it definitely did decrease brain capacity, IQ. Across multiple studies, and then they did it again in 2016 and found the exact same results. And again, it's like, that's Harvard. That's like the most psyoped place on earth. So if they're fucking saying it, there's something going there. Yeah, it's absolutely insane how they.
Also, they're not banning fluoride. Nobody is saying that there will never be fluoride ever again. So, like,
anybody, if you want it,
anybody. I don't know libtards that even drink tap water.
Yeah,
like, this is such a fucking fake issue. It's another.
I love how she said, yeah, for people that can't find fluoride toothpaste, it's like, how hard it is to find non-fluoride. It's like the only kind they have.
They also can't find an ID to vote too, so it's pretty tough. There's a lot of things they just can't find.
Dude,
but like, my thing is like, okay, let's say you are a fluoride maximalist, and a lot of people, again, it's just like Trump derangement. They're not pro-Harris, they're anti-Trump. It's they're not anti-fluoride or pro-fluoride a lot of times, except for those like fake Twitter doctors that talk about it. But most of the time, that's Alex Jones bullshit, dude. Like, don't fucking then you're gonna start questioning Sandy Hook, and you're gonna start doing all of these things because of fluoride, which, where's the lie? But if I was a libtard, right, this is how fucking fake performatively helpless that they are. Like, wouldn't you just brush your teeth with fluoridated toothpaste like a third time per day?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you just do that and you'd be like, okay, I'm good? Because like I said,
the logic is drinking the water, it passes through your teeth, and that. So they say that they only put the tiniest infinitesimal amount of fluoride in your water, but then they say that it's enough to, as it's passing your teeth through drinking it, it's enough to save your teeth.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's not just fluoride that I hate in the water. There's like heavy metals, like like
chlorine. Chlorine, dude. It's like, come on, dude.
I've tested water here. They call it San Jose spray here. It's fucking disgusting. And it, like, I don't drink it. Like, I straight up went and filled up my jugs today at the Asian market. It's sick.
The other thing is, I can understand. Okay, so obviously we're both anti-vax and don't, that whole thing is a mess, blah, blah. But I can at least sympathize with the trust the science people on that side, because they truly believe that kids will die if they don't get vaccinated, right? Which is like, if you truly believe that, of course you're going to be aggressive about it and going to be like, wow, these fucking idiots, blah, blah. This is fucking teeth, okay? This is like, this isn't like some life or death thing. So and again, I tweeted the other day, it's like, you can reject fluoridation of water on principles alone, right? I don't give a fuck. Who cares about the science? Don't put drugs in my water supply. It's like, that's enough. That's enough to, like, I didn't consent to it. I don't want it. Get it out, and so it's just, it's wild.
Yeah. Do we vote on
it's
it?
another, huh?
Did we vote on ever?
You can, well, so you can, there are places. This is that thing in Buffalo where the guy that was supposed to be fluoridating the water was not. and his name was OJ, another OJ from Buffalo.
That's right. Yeah.
And so that's my RFK Trump. If you take the fluoride out of the water, that'd be great. But give that guy a pardon because he's in prison right now. I think for not fluoride.
That's your next Assange, dude. That's your next Assange.
Dude, he's natural health Assange, dude, for sure.
Yeah. That guy should be pardoned. Oh, I agree. And I can't wait for the libtard false flags, dude. If they do ban it, like the libtard, it's like why, like they have those fake tweets on Twitter where they say like, my son woke up in a cold sweat and was like, "Mommy, we have to vote out fascism." Like, and then everyone in the neighborhood woke up and clapped and started singing like the Grinch stole Christmas at the end. They have those. They're gonna do it. They're like, "I just found 2 of my son's teeth on the floor." What the fuck? What in the actual fuck? And then they'll be like, Reddit, what do I do? And it'll just be. This is gonna be like
also since you got me onto the hydroxyapatite toothpaste, dude, my shit is fucking the healthiest teeth I've ever had in my life.
A fucking car bumper.
Yeah, you can
hydroxyapatite. Yeah,
and it's like, dude, that literally once people find out about this shit, like en masse, it's over for fluoride. It's over because it's like fluoride weakens your teeth. That's the crazy thing. It does not. It like there's like a threshold where it protects against cavities up to a point because it kills the bacteria that causes the cavities, but then it quickly will soften your enamel and you can have dental fluorosis where you can see through your teeth. I have it from fluoride treatments from it, where you can like shine a light and see through your teeth.
The transparent stuff.
Yeah, that's from fluoride.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's crazy. This is what I'll I don't mind talking about this early. I'm going to write about this, but the tamarind thing is crazy, dude.
Tamarind.
Because there's so many studies. I got to get on this. Shout out to one of my ex coworkers who put me up onto this because big hippie guy for sure. But there is this crazy study where they took basically like this boys' youth hostel, where they were feeding these boys, and they just gave them 10 grams of tamarind a day at lunch. And then measure their urine with and without. And they were having non-fluoridated water. So they knew it wasn't coming from the fluoride in the water, right? And they were pissing out like 4 milligrams of fluoride a day off the tamarind, basically. Yeah. So that's coming from their bones and their brain and their pineal gland.
Is that something you could see like in your piss? Is it like
probably not at that level? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the crazy thing is not only were they pissing out fluoride, so, and I've read testimonials on this where your pineal gland, so everyone knows about the fluoride pineal gland connection, right? Where you calcify your pineal gland, you turn into an NPC zombie. But the other thing, your pineal gland produces melatonin, which is what you need for sleep. So people have been saying not only does decalcifying their pineal gland help with, there's all the spiritual faculties and just being a more present human and all this different stuff.
Yep.
But that you actually get deep sleep for the first time in your life after you start taking tamarind, which was a crazy side effect. I've been seeing tons of testimonials on that. And
so they're eating it, right?
So tamarind it's like in a paste. They have like the syrup and it's like it's like sour candy flavor.
Yeah, no, I know it.
Yeah. But what you can do, you can get like the literal bricks of it, like organic tamarind. And what I would do is just roll it into balls and swallow it like pills.
Nice.
And like just swallow it and just like get it your daily dose like that. And they find that not only do you piss out extra fluoride, but you retain more zinc and magnesium and copper, like essential nutrients, which is crazy. So it makes you hold on to the nutrients you do need, and it gets rid of the ones you don't, basically, which is wild. So
they might tamper with the selection, but we need to tamarind with the selection.
Yeah. I think they're going to tamper with the tamarind.
Yeah, and but yeah, dude, this was a wagon I wanted to jump on for a long time. Everyone knows the Chronicles of My E-Girl Stomach.
Yes,
it's been going on for many years. I've done well. Last month for me was rough. It was my birthday. I was doing all sorts of traveling, eating on the run. Not great. Not great. Definitely started getting those hello darkness, my old friend stomach problems. Psyllium husk. It works.
Holy shit. Yeah.
So the reason I'm so I work in road construction, and it's not always a bathroom available to me. So if I take something, I usually try it on the weekend when I'm chilling or whatever. And that way, if it's like, oh wow, this works, like it works to an alarming degree. And yeah, you don't want to have that happen when you don't have a bathroom available to you.
No.
What I was so shocked about was how easy it makes everything work. Like it works. You notice a thing, but it's not like, fuck, I'm doubled over. I got fucking shit so bad. Like it's like, oh fuck. It's just like, well, time to go.
Yeah,
And then you go,
exactly.
and then like Matt McCusker horse piles, like, and you're just like, wow, that's quite nice. Like, and it was just so anybody who's like, it's funny, my dog has to take it with his meal. It's hilarious. So it's just one for me, one for him.
I love that.
Yeah,
it connects you. It connects
really,
you too.
Really nice. Yeah, exactly. So
that was perfect. When you get a good bowel movement, it's like chasing the dragon, dude. It's like, dude, yeah.
It's an omen for the day. Yeah, it's an omen for the day. And when you just hit like, or when like, okay, when you're just like, oh man, I just like don't feel right, and then like you just go and it's a straight police baton that comes out, and you're like, whoa, like that. How was I gonna have a good day with that in me?
Yeah.
Like how was anything gonna go my way?
Exactly.
It fucks with my head, dude. Because I know there's two types of people that have stomach problems. There's people where everything gets expelled immediately the minute they eat something and stuff, and then there's people who, like me, where if I'm not well, my body just holds on to everything.
Yeah,
it just like nope, it's not coming out. But then you have
the carnivore dieters would say you're poisoning yourself with the plant fiber known as psyllium, and that you're actually going to live.
I do feel really poisoned. Yeah. I know. It's like, no,
dude, I'm sorry. I'm just,
I know. It's fair. I was just like, I agree. And I've like, and they, I remember I was talking to my wife about it. She goes, that's Metamucil. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't have the gay like flavoring bullshit in it. It's just,
dude, it's the orange flavor and aspartame. They've put all sorts of
I used to Metamucil,
probably fluoride in it, dude. There's probably fluoride in it.
So I agree that the thing that makes it work is that. But psyllium husk doesn't even taste bad, dude. It doesn't even taste bad. I put it in a big kitchen glass of water, stir that bitch around, dude. Like I was recording a podcast last night drinking it. It was just like so pleasant. So anybody who's like on the fence for it, I don't remember the brand I have. I'm not going to get up and look. I don't think you have to get that. Like, what's the best brand? Just I bought the first one on Amazon. So like that was literally what happened. So
that's a thing where people do crazy, like a lot of raw food people do bentonite, clay, psyllium husk shakes, where you literally just scoop a bentonite, scoop a psyllium husk, and you'll do that during so you do like green juice fast, and then you alternate. You'll drink a juice, you'll wait 4 hours, you'll drink a psyllium bentonite, and then that's when people get out the crazy like black tar, bile discharge, just gnarly shit, because the bentonite can trap it and the psyllium can move it through, and I mean, you can, for the braid, you can look, and parasites and stuff too, you can look up online images of stuff people have gotten out on that. It's wild.
But yeah, like I was just like, man, if anybody like has that thing where you get that like bloated stomach when you're not like perfectly following a diet, and you're just like, man, why is it like hitting me this hard, man? Just incorporate that stuff, dude. Especially when like you're gonna have a weekend where like, you're gonna go out and fuck off and like, eat bullshit, not on your stuff. Like it does give you a little like margin for error, I think, which is really nice because okay, it's not going to stop you from like gaining weight, but I will say there are some like I will say there's like literal weight gain that happens because people are just like literally full of shit. Yeah, it does happen. Like so it was just like, again, like if you took like a laxative, that's like a really painful way of getting stuff out. Like that sucks. When that happens, this is just like nature is healing. Like when it happens, exactly, dude. One thing I really fucking hate. I don't think I've talked about this on here, but since it's election day and you see like all these talking heads, I haven't seen anybody on Fox News, but I hate military libtards.
So, I saw you. What's this about?
It might be the worst kind.
Are they like worse than the hick libs?
Because I know what their effect is on boomers. Boomers love the military. They absolutely do. Like they all respect it. They even if they're like anti-war in an extent, they respect the opinion of like the general. Troops. Like the general comes out and says, well, I just don't think this is the right guy to lead the country. They go, well, who could disagree with the general? It's like, that guy's a flag. You know what I mean? Like like this guy sucks, and that's why I love one of my favorite Trump things is when they're like, well, 12 generals told you that like this something happened. Another fake story that he like laughed at the soldier, like or they was at a funeral and he like laughed at the guy or something. Like there's another completely fake story, and the guys were just like. He was just like, yeah, those guys are fucking losers. He's like, dude. War with those guys. Like we would literally like now like people would just attack us if those guys were in power. And I mean it's funny because like
Plus, sorry, why is every general like trans now? Dude, I have to ask.
Exactly.
Like, what's up with that?
Dude? Then you get that,
But, like what's up with that, dude?
There's definitely that. But then you get like I know the effect they have on like the average like boomer 65 to like 73 years old. They'll be watching like CNN, and they're the ones that even if they lean more conservative, they can't deal with like Trump's lack of like a filter. Maybe I guess would be the way. Like they can't deal with that. They don't think that's like they're willing to like literally let libtards take over as long as somebody has like a filter, like somebody has a filter and does the presidential thing. It's a very strange thing that they do. Perhaps fluoride is an agent here, and they'll say. The guy will go on there and he'll be like, well, I've killed 40 million people in wars for 20 years. I worked I worked at God, what's the one that Eric Prince used to run?
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever that scary fucking military thing. Like I was doing all these operations and stuff. And to be honest, the biggest enemy I see is Donald J. Trump.
I know, dude. And
they do that stuff, and guess what? That is how they take that as scripture. Take like Moses getting a tablet, dude. Like they take it and they're just like this is a general. This is it becomes an emergency because it's like Independence Day where the guy's like, well, we don't know what to do. Like they view it that way, and it allows them to get into the state of fear model when a general goes on, a doctor goes on, and stuff. They trust these institutions so much, which is why when people become really radical about, and I am radical to this way, but I just don't I don't see it as like practical in terms of electoral politics. When people are like, well, I'm not voting for somebody unless they plan to abolish all vaccines, abolish all of these things, do all this stuff. Like, you see that stuff, it's like, dude, that's my utopian world too. There's a lot of people that we need to red pill way more people.
Yeah.
Like personally. Because there are people that love the military, that love Dr. Fauci, that love those people. Like they when they see somebody in a lab coat go on there and say Donald Trump will get 2 million people killed if he's elected and the pandemic hits again, release. Don't worry about where it comes from, but if that happens, like they believe that stuff. So anytime I see these, like the military guy is just another expert, is what I'm going to say. It's another expert, and I'm not watching Fox News, and I literally don't see it. Maybe maybe they are, and they're just wearing a suit. But like they'll bring the guy on in the full like general garb on CNN and just be like, oh man, if there's another Capitol, like I don't know if we can stop it these times. There's so many armed insurrectionists and stuff, and like that's why like your weird family member gets fired up so much. About, like Trump is like because a general will go on there.
Yeah, and I'm not a military hater by any means. In fact, it was my dream to be in the Air Force when I was really young at one point for a while.
Are you colorblind like Little Miss Sunshine or what?
Yeah, exactly. But I find when it comes to like our scene and modern stuff of just knowing the truth about shit, I find military guys are think about being in the military. You can't really be heterodox and be in the military. And so you have this thing where like there's a lot of cool military guys that are cool on a lot of topics, but they're like, whoa, did you learn about this? You hear about this thing? And it's something you knew when you were like 13 years old. And it's like, you had to relearn that because you were in the fucking military and they lied to you for, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, and then they still respect like classified stuff.
Yes.
Like, a lot,
I know.
Classified label where they're like, well, that's classified. So we like, obviously it's good that that's classified because if Americans had that information, like you don't know. And I'm like, all right. So I can't trust you on literally anything then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, there's like, again, I respect, I definitely, I get really mad when people are like, I help all homeless, but if they're a veteran, fuck them, dude.
Yeah.
You fucking killed people, warmonger. It's like that guy was in front of 7-Eleven shitting his pants, dude. Like, like,
yeah, dude.
but like there's people that like really take the like all cops are bastards, including the military kind of thing. I'm like, all right, that's fucking Tom Morello guitar solo, like ACLU TikTok stuff, but yeah, Alan Wrench over the strings, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mac De La Rocha comes out and he's like, point of personal privilege, point of personal privilege,
yeah.
point of personal privilege, and then comes out,
dude. That's I did want to say, because there's been a lot of Tom Morello getting passed around lately, and my whole thing, and again, this is nothing. This is all it's all one thing, but it's like how he'll be quote tweeting some, like MAGA Georgia girl or something.
47.
Yeah. And it'll be like, Rage Against the Machine taught me to question the vax, the jab. And then he'll be like, and I'm like, so are you, I don't get, are you pro that? I don't know what, you didn't really say what your stance is on that. Are you down with everything that happened? It's just kind of this weird, above it all dirtbag kind of thing. It's dirtbag is what it is, dude. It's very.
It taught me to not accept the results of an election.
Yeah.
To go straight to the Capitol and be like, you know what? Fuck that. I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah.
And
it's so funny that you can't go to the literally they got upstaged on everything, dude. It's so funny, dude. Literally
You think they're gonna do it, like in like a mock kind of way, like if they lose, because they did it on the steps, right? Last time they did like the crying on the steps.
Yeah, it's like some theater kid shit for something like
that.
They
got Trump up. This is Fox News. This is Fox News, dude.
Yeah, give us the update, dude. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, Trump is up 178 to 113 according to Fox News.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And dude, he's 1% in. I'm you know why I'm bringing this up. In the state of Maine, 1% is reported. He's only down 1%, dude.
Steven,
is our boy. Our boy. If Maine flips red,
that'd be crazy,
dude. He might just like myocarditis out, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He might.
Myocarditis, dude.
He can't. I don't think he could handle it. Like if Trump, he'll have his own problems if Trump just wins the election.
Yeah,
Stephen King. But like, if his beloved state of horrors, flips, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he could handle it. Like, so, I need Stephen King tweets, dude. I need them still in my life. It's the one form of TDS I can look at and just like with joy and see a radiation. Like it's so organic.
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, it's great. It's so I love you guys. Oh, pardon me. You guys have a thing, but I mean, we have a thing, but you and him have a special connection. I think
where it's I would literally bear hug him like if I saw him.
No, what I've been seeing is just crazy swings for like a super like liberal, highly educated county where it's all like doctors and lawyers and shit. Huge swings towards like 8-point swing towards Trump compared to 4 years ago. So I'm just, dude, it's like it's gonna be hard to steal this one. It's gonna be
see, because they got it. They're reporting a lot faster for sure. They're it's already like damn. Like again, I am not like there are people that are straight experts on how this all works. It's not me, so I have no clue. If that's the case, but dude, there's a woman named McDonald Rivet running for the Michigan House.
Oh boy, dude!
Her name is McDonald
Rivet, dude.
Those are like two things I ordered.
And
that's just like that's just going down your checking account.
Yeah,
and
it's like your tax. Yeah, it's like a tax break.
Yeah.
It's
like, things off. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. McDonald Rivet, dude. Like hardcore politics are like that. There's still a world that I don't know, like of just like, oh, who's running for so and so, who's running for running for this, running for that. But this is crazy, man. So guys, that's our election episode. I'm sure we'll come back to it. Hopefully it's called tonight. I don't want this to become like a 3-week thing. Like I really don't. I hate the normalization of that, where they're like, you'll talk to like a liberal and they're like, well, I mean, look, it's not going to just be decided on that. I'm like, no, literally everyone before 2020 was. And in 2000, which everyone agrees was a fake election, like in 2000, that was the one that like took some time. And I'm like, no. And that's the liberal progressive model, is that we just got elections right. We've been striving and progressing to the point where we have truly free and fair elections now.
Yeah, with no evidence.
If they lose tonight, that's all out the door. I just mean, like, it's just like, oh, the reason you have to take 12 COVID shots is because we finally have figured out how to keep you safe. We finally figured it out. Don't look at dissolving illusions. That's wrong. I can't tell you why, but I know it's wrong. That's like these people, the way they view the world. But we've got some fun stuff coming up next week. I hate even talking about it, but next week we have a pretty good guest. We're gonna get our fucking elbow deep in the vaccine health world. I think that's gonna be fun. A guest that I'm pretty pumped for. I'm not gonna say the name because that's fucking kiss of death when it happens. But the guy said he's writing it on his calendar. When they write it on the calendar, it's there. Yeah, it should be good. That should be a lot of fun. Like I said, Michel Houellebecq's Annihilation. That book club episode went so well that I want to do every fucking Houellebecq book with them. We already did Possibility of an Island, but like the other,
it was like a hive mind in a good way. It was so many.
Yeah, but it was a band,
dude. Like the metaphor, the call in, the voicemail metaphor. I was like, dude, what the? Dude, I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, I knew that about him, but he was phenomenal on there. And then, but like, we're like a band. It was like a band. We were like a big ensemble band where, like, okay, people were coming at it from like a bass player, a drummer, but we were all playing the same song. We were all kind of components of the same song. It was phenomenal. So that's coming out later this week. And then after that, there's gonna be if you're a subscriber to Filthy Armenian Adventure, we're gonna be doing a crossover. Well, I will be a crossover on Raymond Chandler's The Big Sleep, big LA book. That's perfectly in his wheelhouse. And then it's going to be on Gain of Fiction as well. So that'll be double published around there. Then I'm going to be picking up Inherent Vice. Inherent Vice is a book by Thomas Pynchon, working down it'll be my third Thomas Pynchon book. And people say Pynchon, but I like Pynchon better. So I'll be reading that. I think you said you might join me on that.
Oh yeah, I'm reading that. I'm going to read Chandler too. I'm going to listen to that one for sure.
Chandler's good.
Because that's the Big Lebowski. I need to read that.
It is, and then eventually we need to do our Lebowski episode. We need to, like, that's still kind of like a white whale for me. It's an intimidating
the white whale sounds, dude.
Exactly. So and then we're gonna do Conversations with God on PsyOps. It's only an 8-hour audiobook for me, so I'm piecing through it, so I'm almost done with that. Then let's see, what else do we have coming up? Oh yeah, like I said, just review us on Apple and Spotify. That really helps. Definitely gets, who knows what they're going to try with the podcasts that don't support the current thing if Trump were to win tonight. So it really helps if we can get some something that pushes us in the algorithm. And check out the Substack, guys. Like something happened. For my Substack account, just my own personal one, they gave me $5 free to our site for like a month. So if that happened to you guys, use it, dude. We have 125 premium episodes. I looked at our feed. 125. It's a lot. So if you subscribe, you can.
We've been getting. Hey, I want to look at the dashboard right now because it's been growing, dude. It's been growing too.
It goes down, then it pops up. It goes down, it pops up. People hop in, hop out, and stuff.
Damn. We're riding a high. We're riding a dude.
All you got to do
in the last 30 days. We're green across the board right now, dude.
All you have to do is call Scott to do Coast to Coast. Everyone fucking subscribes when that happens.
Yeah.
Scott is a superstar. It's just the way it is.
True.
That, by the way, fuck, that episode is so good, the Coast to Coast episode.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I looked at it like we actually do turn a profit off this.
Yeah,
we do. I mean, it's not a sustainable profit in terms of sustaining our lives, but it doesn't supplement the income we would need otherwise from jobs. But
the thing is like the way I see it is this is just, I know we're speaking this on the feed or whatever, but I mean, this is just you. But it's like, this is the internet and we have a good show and it could pop at any time. So there's no ceiling. And literally a 10x on everything across the board, including the income, would be life-changing for us. Just that'd be pretty big. It wouldn't be 100% there.
And I would
100x would be like, this is what we're doing now. For what I mean.
What I would say, like, truly is like, it's not going, like, I'm not trying to hate on other shows, but like when other shows pop, they do less shit a lot of times, or like they don't expand more. They're like, oh, you're just paying.
We'd be the exact opposite.
I would do a weekly live stream, like literally weekly live stream with like the fucking premium chat with like answering questions and stuff. Like we would do our episodes, and then like a Thursday night or something, we would do like a live stream, like a more casual like streaming type thing. Like we would do things like that, call-ins and all that live stuff. Like I would do all of that if we had the time, because it's not even like the money buys definitely helps us, but like it's the time that it also creates too.
Yeah,
I would have time to do all the way more shit, you know, and all of that, and go into other.
We'd be like a book talk, dude. We'd be book talk, dude. We'd be fucking
100%. Dude, kidding me? Every day, dude. We'd be doing something every fucking day. So on that note, guys, everybody have a safe week. Hopefully Trump wins, but catch you guys next time.